Working TV or working non-TV? Because I hear from a lot of people they love, WWE, they love the house shows more than the TV tapings.
Yeah, the house shows, you could work on things and you could have fun and you could, do hokey shit and you could just get away with just like, it was fun. You could go out and mess with people or, walking down the aisle, if somebody said something, you could turn and, talk shit or whatever. But, house shows are a lot of fun. But house shows today are, I think, like a Monday Night Raw light and a SmackDown light because they're trying to get them too much like the Raw events. Yeah. I mean, I remember going to live events where it was just some lights, you had a ring, and you had a barricade, and that was it. You were lucky if you got theme music and guys coming out to music. Most of the time it was like, the following contest, and you're like...
Right. You'd be like, what happened to his theme
shit,
song?
there's Brooklyn. Oh, man, that's a brawler coming, man. Didn't have music. And it was like, so that's what it was, man. Yeah. It wasn't like what they're doing today with the live events. I get it. They're trying to be, giving you the Raw or the SmackDown, feeling. But it's like, no, house shows and live events were, unto themselves, man, where they were a lot of fun. TVs and pay-per-views are very stressful. Very stressful.
Lucha Underground, when you go to the tapings, it feels like a house show, even though it's being taped for TV.
Yeah, and, it's a big difference. And like Johnny and Ray and us, we've talked, where we have fun in the back, we're laughing. I mean, it's a great time going through stuff. And then, we have fun in there, and there's nobody screaming at you, and there's nobody belittling you, and there's nobody, telling you this or that. And and I get it. There's pressure because there's sponsors and pay-per-views, and you have your time and all that. But I mean, pay-per-views are very stressful. Mm-hmm.
Especially, I'm guessing WrestleMania.
WrestleMania was just a nightmare in itself. I'm not saying a nightmare because it was a nightmare because of the nerves and the anxious and oh my God, being at WrestleMania, and it's like, oh shit. I mean, I remember Pat Patterson came up to me one time. And Pat, if you know Pat Patterson, if you've ever seen him, he's always smoking a cigarette. And it's funny because Vince hates cigarette smoke. He hates smoking. And Pat's his right-hand man and always smoking and everything. I remember I was getting ready at a show. I think it was my first SummerSlam in Boston. And I'm getting ready. And I have my own little ritual that I do. And everybody thinks I'm fucking crazy. Why are you loosening up? Why are you doing that? It's like, I have my thing. I've been doing it since day one. So... I'm sitting there and I'm doing it, and Pat's watching me and everything, and I finish and everything, and Pat goes, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, "Huh?" He goes, "Are you nervous?" And I went, "Yeah." I said, "I'm shitting bricks." And he goes, "Good, because if you don't, get the fuck out."
Do you still get nervous?
All the time.
Yeah, is it like me? I always...
Even today, I mean, Lucha Underground and stuff, I got nervous anxiety because we're getting closer. I was even talking to Brian about it, and I was like, okay, nerves, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And, I'm getting a little jittery and stuff. Yeah, because this is what we do, man. I mean, you do it at this level. It's not like, okay, we're going to go do an indie show.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's, this many people or...
Yeah.
It's like, this is a big fucking deal, man.
Yeah. That's what I tell when I coach, because I coach baseball, and I always say, the day I don't have the butterflies in my stomach anymore, that's when I know I'm done.
Amen. And that's exactly what Pat Patterson told me, and that has always stuck with me to this day, man. And it's true, man. It's so true, man. If you don't have that and you want to be the best and go out there, it's like, next.
Yeah. We have another Facebook question, and then we'll get to yours.
Carlos, he says, who is your favorite band who has played at the Temple?
Oh, God. Who are those mask guys? The mask guys that they came, because they actually played...
Was it Metalachi?
I don't know if it's Metalachi or not. It was the mask guys.
Voodoo something?
I forget their name, but those guys were fun.
Yeah.
Because we actually had them at South by Southwest.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
We did that show. Those guys were fun, man.
Right.
Those guys get into it. They get it.
Yeah, I like when they come in because they go with everything. That's
and they go down. They're fucking down by the ring, and it's like, yeah, this is supposed to be fun.
I'm waiting for somebody to go in the ring.
Yeah.
What was your question?
I should remember that you asked me to remind you about your daughter meeting Undertaker the first time.
Yes, we were with Paul Roma. Paul, I love you to death, compa. Well, there's a compa sitting out there.
There's compa right there.
So, but me and Paul Roma are shoot compas. I'm godfather to Paul Roma's daughter. I don't think a lot of people know that, but you do now. But it was at the sports arena. You know, me and Butcher were talking about sports arena earlier, and and that's why I said remind me, because we were at the sports arena, and it was a live event, and this was, I think, December of '91. Taker had been with the company maybe 2 years.
Okay.
And we were backstage with Paul. And we were walking around, and back then I had the long hair and shit and everything. I wasn't, whatever. I loved wrestling, but I was like, and I never took a camera. It pissed me off. To this day, I go, fuck! Yeah, because I just didn't want to be that guy with Paul.
Right.
Me and Paul were, we were good, and so. And a lot of the boys respected that because I was just there just to be there. And I get it. I do, because I would never want some guy going, hey, can I get a picture? It's like, I'm bringing you as a friend, hang out, fuck, stop.
Right.
But, I get it. But anyway, so we're there, and Paul's getting ready to go out and do his match. So we're saying, okay, we're going to go to our seats. So we're walking, and in the sports arena, they had a long corridor that would come out, and they had like these entrances that would come off to the side.
Oh, yeah.
So you're coming down the corridor, and my daughter is, I want to say 4 years old at the time. And so we're walking, and all of a sudden we're coming in, we got to go to the left. So we come to the left, and my daughter's running down the long corridor, a little 4-year-old running down, and everything. She comes and she goes like that, and I hear her stop. And I was like, I go running and everything, and I come. And here's Paul Bearer and Undertaker just come walking around the corner, and she's like shitting, just like this. And my wife goes like, and then Percy, I got to know him later. Yeah. He was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Are you okay, darling?" She's fucking bawling, and Taker just goes, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." And she's kind of just didn't break kayfabe, And I was. The first time, like, really just... But it was... Thinking back at it, it was like, fuck, that was cool. Like, Taker was, like, 2 months into his WWE run. He just done Survivor Series and stuff, and he just go like, man, that was Taker. That was Taker, Did you bring it up to him later? Have you ever told him no? It's funny. Greg the Hammer Valentine, when I wanted to break into the business, Greg the Hammer Valentine, first time I met him, I was like, just wanted to break in. Greg the Hammer Valentine, I said, Hammer, hey man, I want to get in the wrestling business. Hey, can you tell me, how do you get in or everything? And he goes, fuck off. And I reminded him, I remember we were in Terre Haute, Indiana, and he came to a show and he was backstage, and I told him, I said, hey Hammer, Marty. And I said, hey, you know what? I said, first time I ever met you, I want to get in the business. And I told him the story, and he goes, I didn't say that to you. And I go, yes, you did. You're a dick. That's why I try and be nice to everybody. Yeah.
Fuck off. You did pretty good. We need to hear the Arn Anderson voice.
Fuck you, Cholo.
You know what? Who's been your favorite character on Lucha Underground?
My favorite character? Probably Johnny, Penta, and Phoenix have been my favorite.
I brought this up yesterday with the Joseph, which is, it's amazing to me how much Johnny doesn't get credit, but
to me, Johnny's the face of Lucha.
Right, he's the face of. It seems like they keep putting people that they think, no knock on Rey Mysterio or Alberto Del Rio or El Patron or even Puma, but it seems like they keep, like Rey Mysterio comes in and he's over for a while, but then it seems like Johnny just seems to do something and he's right back at the top. And then the same thing with El Patron a couple years ago. It seemed like, oh, this is going to be his show. And then there's always Johnny somehow.
I've known Johnny for years, man, years. And he and I have had this conversation. And to me, John Hennigan is at his fucking prime, man. I mean, there's nobody better than Johnny right now, man. Johnny is just that guy, man. I mean, there's nothing he can't do. And, if he ever goes back to WWE, I mean, he'll be main eventing WrestleMania. I mean, that's just a fact. You know, if he ever decides to do that, you know, don't want him to because Lucha Underground, but you know, it's just one of these things that he is so good at what he does, and he just knows who he is as that individual that he kills it every night, man.
Yeah. And that's what I told Joseph yesterday. It's funny because no one knows him now as John Morrison. I think everybody knows him as Johnny Mundo, and they don't even pay attention to Johnny Impact. But going back to John real quick, you know, when Cody Rhodes announced that him and the Young Bucks are working on like the one night
All In.
There, thank you. And I was thinking, like, what match would make this show sell? And I go, you know, you need a Daniel Bryan maybe, which would be the hot guy, to go in there. But then I said, how cool would it be for you to have the Bullet Club, which is the Bucks and Cody, against the Worldwide Underground? I think that would be the match. And it goes back to what you said, because Johnny's just is at the peak of his career right now. I mean, he's just there. He's the guy, you know.
But you know what? I like that. I like that. But here's the thing. It would kill off other matches because you could do Cody versus PJ. You could do Johnny versus Omega. You could do... Yeah. So if you did the Bucks and you did the 4-on-4, it'd be fucking great. Right. But you actually kill your undercard. Right. Because it was like, okay, well, what are we going to do for the main event?
But it goes again to what you said.
But it goes again that, you know...
Johnny against Cody would be main event by itself.
Yeah, and it was funny because I remember when Cody started and John was there and everything, I mean, they were opening match.
Right.
I remember Cody Rhodes' first time on the road with us. We were in Florida. Cody Rhodes, his first match ever on the road with WWE. He worked against Sean Daivari, and we were maybe 3 minutes into the match, and it was a clothesline. Daivari shot him off. Cody's supposed to come back and duck a clothesline. So Cody comes, Daivari goes wham, boom, bust him wide open. So Cody's first live event, he got busted open the hard way. Then he got like 14 stitches. So that was Cody Rhodes.
Welcome to the
WWE, kid. You know, and Cody, by the way, dude, if you're listening or any of those guys out there, All In. If you guys need a great fucking referee who can work, I'm your guy.
If you need a merchandise guy, I'm right there with them. Just trying to throw it in there. And if you need a camera woman, the wife is available.
It's funny. You guys are Cleveland Indian fans, and you know what? I love the Indians because Terry Francona is a great manager. Mm-hmm. But I've always been a fan of them ever since I've seen Major League.
That's the best baseball movie.
No, actually, that's probably my favorite.
Well, I as a kid, my dad, he was a big baseball
in the
guy.
outfield?
No. I'm too old for that one. The Natural.
Ooh, good one.
The Natural was my favorite baseball because of the whole when he hits the ball. If you guys haven't seen it, he hits the ball into the lights.
Wonder Boy.
Yeah, and the whole ending, you know. And then Major League. Once I saw Major League, I was like, that's it for me.
And by the way, I'm a huge baseball mark, too. I think a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Huge.
Angels,
you know. So I'm an old school Dodger, though.
Yeah. But we have a partner to go to games.
Yeah, we have a partner here to take opening
Major
weekend.
League Baseball. I mean, I played baseball up until I was 22 years old and played like semi-pro up until I was 22. So,
what position?
Shortstop.
Wow.
Yeah, shortstop and left field.
That's the position my dad wanted me to play, but I wanted to be a pitcher, and I blew out my arm. Should have listened to my dad.
Yeah, love baseball.
How do you think the Angels are going to do this year?
Angels are going to do phenomenal, man. World Series, baby.
I'm going to have to disagree. Yeah. I think it's Cleveland's year this year.
You know, if anything, I want them to win because of Francona's dad passing. Yeah. I think they should win because of that. But I mean, look at all the adjustments that the Angels have done. Yeah. I was glad to see C.J. Cron go.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, bye-bye, dude. You know, I remember seeing him in the minors and going, this guy's the shit. You know, but I mean, they're finally building around the greatest baseball player today.
Yeah.
You know, they finally got Calhoun. They got Upton. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah. I think, that's probably the best.
I mean, if their rotation stays intact, dude, look out.
Yeah.
Look out, man.
And they did smart by doing what they're doing, because now that you can offer the greatest baseball player, keep them there. You know, Derek Jeter stayed with the Yankees forever. Why can't Trout stay with the Angels forever? Yep. Even though I would like to see him in a Block C.
That's it. All right. that question was a comment because baseball does something special. Because let's say a few years ago, my dad took me and my brother to our first baseball game, and it was at the Angels Stadium because he's an Angels fan.
Love your dad.
And I'm not really a fan of sports besides wrestling, but I went for him, and we had fun. Like when